Greetings, good day. I'm Earl Cannonbear. Welcome to Hockey Hacks. Today we're going to talk about washing your gear. Because damn, some of us really stink out there. So I'm going to go through kind of my go-to way of how I wash my gear. We're going to start with part one in the series here, which is using a standard front-loading washer, which is what I'm lucky enough to have here in my abode in the Cannonbear household. So I'm going to just kind of take everything out and kind of go through how I wash all my gear. Stay tuned. So the first thing I do is kind of group everything together in a group of groupings of how am I going to group them together for my wash cycle. So the obvious thing is you're probably not going to wash your skates. Typically, skates are not washed, so I'm going to put them aside. Helmet, not washed. Put that aside. Now I've got a series of rags and drink bottles and such, which I will set there. And so I like to kind of go, let's see, elbow pads, stinky gloves, got your breezers, you got your shin pads, and you've got your shoulder pads. And then the other thing that I have too is all my base layer from my last skate. So it's been all summer since I washed all my gear. I skate 1 to 3 times a week, depending on my hockey schedule. So, you know, do the math, 3 months, 3 times a week. It's kind of nasty. So what I tend to do is take the stuff with the hard plastic, like the shoulder pads and my shin pads, and do in 2 separate washes with other softer things, so it's easier on the actual washer. So I tend to do like shoulder pads and breezers, and then like shin pads and my gloves and my elbow pads, and then I'll kind of split like a jersey, half base layer, half rags kind of stuff into like 2 separate loads, if that makes any sense. So elbow pad, glove, shin pads, like your bottom base layer, your socks, and then another one that's going to have your breezers, your jersey, your top base layer, and your shoulder pads, if you tend to wear shoulder pads. So that's kind of the 2 groups I go with. So let's go now to the laundry room and load this stuff up. All right, so we are here in the Cannonbear laundry room. First thing I'm going to do is just throw everything in with my shin pads. In this particular model, I can remove that little pad. So I'm going to do that. Throw that in, throw that in, throw my glove in, throw my elbow pad in, a sock, a hockey sock, a head gasket, my wrist guard, sweatband things, top base layer. Make sure all your Velcro is Velcroed to each other, otherwise it makes kind of a mess if they connect to each other. Closed, other glove, shorts, inside out so the Velcro doesn't stick to other stuff. Know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? And then last shin pad. So to me that's enough kind of padding in there to stop the shin pads from clanking around too much inside. As far as what I use to clean stuff with, I throw in, I don't know, is that a cup of Borax? 20 Mule Team Borax to be precise. And I put that in just like so. And then I use the Hero Clean, and I'll put links in the description for all this stuff. And I use about 1/4 of what it says to use. I don't use very much of this. I find that a little goes a long way. So barely any at all. And then when I'm doing all my gear, I use this Odor Eliminator, and I put that in the softener rinse. So I just put a squirt or 2 of this stuff in there, and that's really all I do. Turn it on. I have a bulky large setting that I will do. I will do a pre-wash, and I will do an extra rinse. I find the more water you get cycled through the gear, the better it is. And then I'll start it. And then wait about an hour and a half, or how long ever it takes. So you may have noticed back here, it's a 3D printer. If you're interested in 3D printing, you should check out my sister channel, 11-30 Tech, where I do all sorts of crazy 3D printing projects and talk about other technology stuff unrelated to hockey. I will put a link in the description below. All right, so I'm going to let this go, and we'll come back as soon as it's done, and we'll talk about how I dry the gear. Okay, so the first load is done, which is good. So I'm going to take this out, and of course it is wet. I'm not going to put it in my dryer because I found that it dries better either outside in the sun or in my special dryer rack, which I will cover probably in the load number 2. Stuff like this, though, I can dry it outside. What the hell? Get everything in here, and then it's time for, of course, load number 2. So just make sure my Velcro is attached to everything here. Put that in, and that. Make sure I've got enough sort of padding, and then with my breezers, the shell comes off. So I like to separate the two. Yep, these smell not good. Not good at all. And I think there's one more. Here we are. And then that goes in there. And then that goes there. And then, of course, I do the 20 mule team. We're not talking 18, we're not talking 19, we're talking a full 20 mules. And, no more. Not 21, you don't need 21. You only need like 20. And again, I'm only doing about 1/4 of what they recommend with this stuff, because I find that it's more than enough. And then a little odor eliminator and the old softener. And that is the elixir. So for the settings, I like to go to the bulky large. I like to do a pre-wash, and I like to do an extra rinse. Ooh, wow, I can do more than, that's a lot of extra rinses. 1 extra rinse, I've got everything in there, and let's start it. So now we'll go outside and we will dry in the sun, hopefully. We'll have some sun, the already washed gear, and we'll pick it up out there. Okay, so I am outside, as you can see, in the beautiful Cannon Bear backyard, and I am going to just set this stuff up to dry. Base layer, I can just lay in the back of a chair, but, oh, on the ground. Let's try that again. There you go. I do keep the shin guard pad separate from the shin pad for as long as I can, or at least until it gets somewhat dry. And then I'll put my wrist guard there. And then another base layer on the back of a chair. And glove. Try to get it in the sun because not only does it dry faster, but I think it actually has a, the radiation does stuff to the things to make them smell less. So I open up my elbow pads and the shin pads. Thank you, next door neighbor, for deciding to mow your lawn right now. Turn that towards the sun. And I find that a lounging recreational deck chair works really good for laying everything out and getting it in the sun. And then I just use the back of my normal chairs out here just to get everything else situated. So there you go, it's that easy. It also helps to do one load at a time because then you can set it up to dry a little easier. So yeah, I'll show you some close-ups. So yeah, the gear all laid out on the deck outdoor lounger thing deal. And in the sun. So yeah, there you go. Beauty. Okay, so round 2, wash 2 is done. Take it out, throw it in the back bucket, and we'll get these outside and drying in the sun. So yeah, it's that easy. Let's go outside. Okay, so the second cycle is done, or the second wash is done. I have everything here. Again, I'm gonna do that same thing. I have a nice breeze going and beautiful sunshine. This is gonna work great. Just gonna put all my crap out here on the chairs and such. And one thing I like to do is, I don't know if you have some sort of large, tall device, but I use these C-stands, which are used in the video and photography industry. So I use these to hang things like my breezers, so I get a nice airflow. Do the same thing over here. But you could use, a clothesline, obviously. I don't have one on my backyard yet. Something I may add at some point in time. Turn you there. So now they're in the sun and getting good airflow, which is good. And then everything else just kind of hang like from here. Oh yeah, that'll work. Whatever works, whatever you got to hang stuff on. Combination of the C-stands, the deck furniture really does work for me. And I can do something like that. And that's really it. And you got everything outside drying and in the sun. So yeah, I'm gonna let these dry. Let's smell the glove. Definitely better. Could be better, but I think with some more airflow and more sun, I think that will get there. Way better than before. So that is one way to wash your gear if you're lucky enough to have a front load washer. This is what I've been doing for the past 5 years. So I'm going to test a couple other things. This is only part 1. Some of the things I'm thinking about, using a steam cleaner, using a pressure washer, and sending out to a third party to have washed and then sent back to you. There is a service in Minnesota that does that I will research and find out more about. So there you go. I'm gonna go another 10 skates and try a different version and see how it goes. Comments? Any other suggestions for washing your gear? Leave them in the comment selection. And the other thing is putting everything into a tub and washing them in your tub. So we'll try that too. Give a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, get subscribed. You could be the 15th subscriber to Hockey Hacks. And yeah, beauty. I'm Earl Canterbury for Hockey Hats. Hockey Hats? Hockey Hacks. Good day, eh?